Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and beginning with one of our topics under discussion this morning, the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Mohammed Shekhar, has asserted that green hydrogen is crucial to reducing carbon dioxide emissions and boosting green energy transition in Egypt, and this will become a key global source of energy in the near future. The national strategy will leverage Egypt's competitive capabilities to achieve its ambitious plans in the hydrogen sector, targeting up to 8% of the global tradable market by 2014. Now we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for this morning, Mr. Abdel Latif Wahba, our guest and our journalist. A very good morning to you, Mr. Abdel Latif.
Good morning, yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir. And can we start by talking a bit about Egypt's capabilities in the field of renewable energy production as a whole, sir?
As you know, after COP27, that was here in Sharm el-Sheikh,
yes,
Egypt has obligations for establishing green power plants in Egypt and producing green hydrogen, and all the Egyptian state, according to directions of President to the cabinet, is to implement all the memorandum of understanding or the deals that reached to be agreement. And we have pledges for about 80 billion US dollars in coming years, of course, to establish power and renewable energy. And as you know, that this is the vital movement. Not only in Egypt, but in all other countries, especially in Africa, Asia, and so on. As you know, that if we manage to implement all the deals, this means that you can export the electricity and the new energy, renewable energy like green hydrogen to Europe, to the other countries. Mm-hmm. And this, of course, means increasing your foreign currency due to exporters. And at the same time, you will cut spending upon the traditional fuels that you imported from other countries, especially crude oil and so on. This is, of course, to produce all heavy fuels for electric power plants and so on. As you know, that Egypt is still consuming about 150 million barrels of crude oil a year. Mm-hmm. This is, of course, to produce at the same time and to re-extract fuels and so on, and oil products to meet the demand of the local markets here in Egypt. If you manage to, at the same time, to accelerate your procedures and the implementations and so on, this means that you will cut the imports of the traditional fuels, and at the time increase your exports of green power to European countries. This is the main issues, not only in Egypt, but in Europe, especially after the Russian-Ukrainian crisis, and also the conflict in some areas in world over the energy sectors and so on.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Abdel Latif, you mentioned quite a few important points, which leads me to ask you, how important do you see the expansion of projects like electricity generation from renewable energy sources and green hydrogen, as well as the role really of the private sector in impacting these development projects, especially in green energy?
Yeah, of course, it is an important point, as you know, that Egypt from time to time modernize and revise its determined or national determined contributions
Yes.
to green powers. At the beginning, as you know, that Egypt put some procedures concerning green power energy, and when it modernized and revised its plan, this is of course will cost hundreds of billions to modernize all the power sectors. So Egypt, according to the state ownership documents, gives the chance for the private sector to participate in all the Egyptian products, in all the Egyptian sectors and the service and so on, especially power energy. As Egypt, if you heard President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi 2 weeks ago, says that the amount of green energy in Egyptian budget, for example, increased from 20% to 35% and then to 40% just now percent of all the projects and investment in the current budget or fiscal year 23-24. So Egypt presented all the sectors, all help for the private sector to participate in all the sectors, especially green power energy.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Abdel Latif, now the importance of green hydrogen, as you mentioned, has already begun to show, especially now with the production of green hydrogen in Ain al-Sukhna, which has already begun the production first phase, making Egypt the first country in Africa to produce green hydrogen. How do you see the production processes in Ain al-Sukhna plant?
As you know, that Ain al-Sukhna is the strategic hub for green energy, and during the last month, I think they produced also established a planet to fuel or to provide the tankers, maritime vessels and so on. With this is just the start. But if you wanted to know the importance of this step, if we extended and penetrated all the green hydrogen and renewable energy on all different or logistics hubs in Egypt, not only in Suez, Sokna, and so on, but a clean energy power, especially generated electricity like sun power plants, and also the new electric power stations. As you know, that the three huge cement power electrics in Bani Suef, in Al Alamein, and also in new capital, new administrative capital. This, of course, will give Egypt an advantage to export the power, or the safe power and the clean power to other countries, especially in Europe. And at the same time, that you know that we have a huge project to connect the electricity productions in Egypt with Saudi Arabia and with other countries, especially in Europe, like Greece, Cyprus, and other countries. This is, of course, will make Egypt a leader in the area, especially after we established the logistic hub for natural gas in Mediterranean.
Yes, indeed. Now, Mr. Abdel Latif, we also saw an address by the Prime Minister, who said that there is now an increase in local demand for the use of green hydrogen in the industrial sectors, and that the Suez Canal, one of the most important waterways in the world, is crossed by about 15% of global maritime trade, and it is an important opportunity to provide fueling services for ships passing through the canal. How do you see Egypt utilizing this, sir?
This is, of course, will give Egypt a chance not to depend upon the Suez Canal as a transit for the world trade and the oil tankers and so on, but at the same time give Egypt a chance to create a new logistics hub in this area in different sectors, not only in energy only, but with other sectors like industries and so on. This is, of course, means that you double your Suez Canal revenues. And at the same time, as you know, that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, after the beginning of green power hydrogen or energy in Suez Canal, he said that the Suez Canal revenues increases or climbed from 6 or 7 billion US dollars, and they may reach to about 10.5 billion US dollars by the end of the current year.
Right. Finally, Mr. Abdel Latif, how do you see some of the most important measures taken by the Egyptian state to attract more investments in the field of renewable energy, especially that Egypt's goal is to reach 42% of energy production sources from renewable energy by 2030?
As you know, that Egypt readjusted the investment procedures and the laws in Egypt, and also, as you mentioned, that the golden license, for example, but the most important one are the incentives that Egypt granted for this sections, for these sectors, I mean, of the power, energy, and the green hydrogen, and so on. When they exempted them, all the projects from custom duties and fees and so on, and also granted them an what can we say, of halting any fees for the first 3 or 5 years,
Yes.
and so on. This is, of course, means that you encourage the foreign companies, you encourage the local investors at the same time. It means you can attract more investment in the sectors than the pledges or what the foreign countries pledges during the COP27.
Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Mr. Abdel
Thank you.
Latif, Wahba, our journalist and our guest for this morning. Thank you very, very much, sir, for your time and all your insight, and for joining us on this morning's edition of The Breakfast Show. Ladies and gentlemen, another short break, and we'll be right back for more. Do stay tuned.